So, hello everybody. I see you got the chance to meet each other, which is of course one of the aims of this session. I take it you cannot hear me. I tend to have quite a loud voice, and we have those really kind of high-tech microphones that pick up all the sound in the room. So welcome, first of all, welcome to Flinders University, and especially welcome to the new campus. I hope you got the chance to have a look around and see all the kind of nice rooms and facilities, and if you haven't, please do so afterwards. It's really a very nice campus. And of course, welcome also to the College of Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences. So I take it you're all our students, right? You're not in the wrong room. That's why it was a good idea to have a bit of a chat first to see that you're all studying our kinds of courses. My name is Sky Marson. I coordinate the Bachelor of Media and Communication. Do we have any Bachelor of Media and Communication students in the room? No? Some of you, though, either in the room or online, you will be taking some, perhaps, of my topics. So I think that you probably all know, but maybe not, that the subjects that you study at Flinders, we call them topics. And topics are part of courses, right? The degrees that you're studying. So within one degree, you have different topics. So some of you will see me again as your lecturer in some topics. Right, so first of all, I wanted to acknowledge that Flinders University in all its campuses is on Aboriginal land, and we honor their elders, past, present, and emerging. And just to give you an overview of what we're doing here today in the orientation, it's really going over some main kind of terms and habits that are going to be useful to you in your study, and seeing also if you have any questions about starting study. But also seeing what you already know about the college and where you are coming from. So we do have a few Slido slides where you can kind of interact, and I think we've got a couple of people online as well. So if we start with the first one, and I think that's just need to go to the Slido. Have you all got access to this?
If you've got a device, jump on.
So the first question is basically, where are you coming from, right? So like, are you coming from school, or are you coming from another university? Are you coming from another degree? Just basically, you know, what kind of institution, what kind of study did you do before coming here? That's always interesting to see, because we can get quite a variety of students, right? Some people have transferred from other degrees, for example. Oh, and of course working, yes.
I wonder what people's other are. Anyone willing to share what their other is?
I'm other, and I basically was studying at a different university.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's right.
Well, welcome. We do love it when we poach students from other universities.
Is it the same state or another state?
Same state.
All right, okay. So there's actually 50% at the moment of other.
Anyone working in their field that they're going to study in? We've got one. And that field is?
Archaeology.
Archaeology. Great. think we might be maxed out on answers now.
Okay, so it's still, the majority is other, so it could be other universities. I would think that's probably, because we've pretty much covered working, other degree, maybe within the same university or from school. I don't think we have anybody from TAFE, right? Zero. And even from school, it's quite low. So you're all kind of experienced people, right? You've either been working or studying something else. Any others other than coming from another university? No, maybe the others are online. I don't know if they've written any.
And so keep in mind, anyone online, I am monitoring the chat. If you ever want to ask any questions or make any comments, I'll read them out to everyone in the room.
Okay, well, if we move on, so I have to go back to my presentation. So what you basically need to keep in mind about university study, yeah, so it's obviously you're studying for a degree, but it's much more than that, right? So it should broaden your horizon, so give you ideas about what to explore and how to find out where to get things, to learn about things. So it's almost like a key that gives you access to different ways of life. It gives you the skills to be able to follow your passions, maybe even create some new passions, find out that perhaps you had some skills or abilities in areas that you didn't even imagine. And of course it is an interactive experience, like making connections and friends and networks, which are very useful for you not only in your personal life, but also in your professional life. So think of it as a kind of a journey that will broaden your horizons and give you opportunities to change your lives. So since some of you have already studied somewhere before another degree, this might be kind of very familiar to you. It's just some terms that you will be seeing again and again, right, at university. So the kind of teaching that we have different kinds of teaching. So as we said, we have topics where you study a subject within your degree, but they're not all the same. And usually people that start university, that's the kind of thing that they find hardest to get used to, because they think, okay, I'm going to a class, and then I'm going to another class. It's just a different subject, but it's just a class. But it isn't, right? So we have different ways of organizing classes. So some are face-to-face like this, right? Hybrid, because we have that as well, right? So there could be, in some cases, people online. Some are online, so some topics are just online. And even online, you can have synchronous, which means at the same time, so you all meet together online, but at the same time. And there are some other topics where you do them at your own pace, the asynchronous online. So it's all these kind of fancy terms that you'll get used to. There are lectures sometimes. So a lecture is someone basically talking to you. A lot of our lectures are recorded. So if you miss them, you can always watch them afterwards. But then we also have some very interactive kind of teaching, like seminars, workshops, which is not there, but it's another kind of hands-on, practical activities in class. And it's really important that you get to know all your topics, what they are, right? So is it a seminar plus lecture, or is it just workshop, or is it bits of it online, or whatever it is, because it's almost like a different little culture for each of your topics. So you learn to become very flexible, which is a great skill. Some of the other terms, so the staff at the university, you have professional staff, like a wonderful people here, who are very, very, very useful to you because they help you with enrollment and any kind of practical questions that you have about your study. Fees, scholarships, as we'll see as we go along with the presentation, all kinds of questions that you might have. Academic staff are really responsible for the content of your learning, right? So they coordinate courses, teach topics, make sure they're up to date with all the material that they give you so that you're up to date too. So they are basically your teachers. There's also a lot of support services, again, so it's professional staff that are there for your well-being, health and well-being, also kind of learning, help, and so forth. So you're never alone, right? Always remember that you're always connected at university. And of course, you have your wonderful peers that hopefully will become your lifelong friends. So I think that you kind of pretty much get the idea, right? So think of the university study as a little world on its own with the different relationships and networks and rules and regulations and opportunities, all these kinds of things. Here you have some more practical kind of information about the college, since we are College of Humanities, Arts, Social Sciences, so you've got, we have presence in this campus and the Bedford Park campus as well. You've got some kind of useful emails and names of people. And so if we look at here, Joe is not here, but Annie. So Annie Gann, whose name is up there. So you can put a face to a name. You will get to know these things, so don't worry about it. I mean, you don't have to memorize stuff.
Could you talk about, unless it's already further down, just before we go, what enrollment course advisors and student admin?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my name is Annie. You will have seen my name on the slide. I'm enrollment course advisor. So basically what I do is basically advise students what topic they should enroll according to study plan so they can finish their studies within a time frame, 3 years if it's a bachelor degree or honors if it's a 4-year degree and so forth. I also, if you have any questions about options topic that you should take and all those kind of things, you can always contact us. We can also actually recommend some of the options that might of interest to you. If you actually, things like if you actually have questions regarding leave from your study, and how you go about that and all this kind of stuff, or credit if you have you want to be applied, to be assessed based on your previous studies and so forth. All you need to do is basically you just put in Ask Findus request. Not sure whether you have opportunity to go through the Okta dashboard. Anybody enroll in the topics, your topics, and actually gone through the Okta dashboard? There's a Ask Findus, the green button, and all can you just click on that and put in whatever the inquiry that you might have, and you comes to the college, and then we will actually attend to your inquiries and respond accordingly. Okay.
Thanks, Annie.
Okay, and as we said, we also have support people that can kind of help you with perhaps not kind of so practical stuff, but other concerns that you might have. And Anna is one of those people, so maybe do you want to say something?
Sure, welcome to Flinder. My name is Ana Milena Diaz Leaño, but you can call me Ana, okay? Don't worry, that's too long. You can try to guess which one is my first name. It's already there, so good. Diaz Leaño, so my mother's last name is Leaño in Spanish. If some of you are interested in languages and culture, we always use our mother's last name second. If our Portuguese, it will be vice versa, my mother's last name first, because mothers will always show who is the mother, we never show who is the father, not kidding. But, important thing, so as a student success wellbeing advisor, a long title as well as my name, you can call us the SWAS. In the university, everybody calls this SWAS, which is the acronym. And we're going to be there to help you out to figure out what you're doing here. Because some of you might have it very clear and you say, I got this, I got my studies. But sometimes we can get a little bit hesitant about things, whether you're doing an undergrad or a postgrad, like you're saying you're coming for a master's. Maybe some of you are from overseas. Is someone here from overseas? Yeah? Where are you coming from?
Canada.
Canada, okay, my same continent. And what about you?
The U.S.
The U.S.? Oh, okay, all Americans here. Not only you people from the United States are Americans, okay? Colombia is also in America, Canada is also in America. So, from Australia, someone here? Yeah, you're all from Adelaide? Yes? Someone from interstate? No? Okay, so Canadians and people from the United States also used to this weather. I am not used to this weather, I hate the cold, but okay. So sometimes in your studies you're gonna feel maybe some homesickness. Find Australia quite different from what we used to. Some of you studying a bachelor degree or master's degree, you can start feeling a little bit hesitant. I'm going to structure my assignments. Is this reference all right? Or maybe you can feel a little bit gloomy some moment because you're sad or because, I don't know, you broke up with someone. So in Flinders, you're going to have more than 40 support services. You don't have to use them all, don't worry. But if you don't know where to start, where to go, first of all, you have a question about media. Don't ask me, ask your lecturer. She's a professional, specialized expert in her topic. So your topic coordinators, a secret, they were student ones. They did bachelor, master's, and PhD. So they know everything about the studies, and they're really, really nice. Don't be scared to ask them if you have a question. But anyway, you can also ask us if you want to access any support services. So if you're struggling with accommodation, your finances, we're going to have support services here that can give you a hand with that. If you need a counselor, there are the counseling services. If you are struggling with a disability, medical condition, if you're a carer, they also can provide you with an access plan. But you don't know where to go, who to ask, please ask me. So you're gonna see here, we're gonna share these slides, yes? Or not?
We will find a way to make sure that these links become available to you.
Okay. So this website, you can click there, and there is a button to book an appointment with us. You can book the appointment. It can be through Meet. It can be in person here from the city campus on Fridays, from Monday to Thursday at Bedford Park. Or if you want just a phone call, we can give you a phone call. So whatever you need, just ask. One thing, a key to succeed, ask questions. As your lecturer, our staff members, Janine, Annie, Odieka, Sam, we're always going to be very happy to help you out, because the sooner you ask, the sooner you're going to have a solution, okay? So welcome to Flinders, and that's all. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much for that. I hope that gave you some encouragement. And what Anna was saying about asking questions, that's very important. Yeah, so that's basically the only way you can find answers, right? By asking the right questions. But hopefully the tips that you're getting today, you get to know who to ask for specific things, right? Okay, good. So we have a little competition now, just to spice things up. So I'll go back to the Slido. And the question is, how many disciplines? Let's see how much homework you've done before coming here. How many disciplines are there in the college?
Oh, we've got one cab off the rank. First correct answer wins. You are playing for our glorious duck socks. You will come to know how much Flinders loves ducks, and this is getting you kick-started on how much Flinders loves ducks. So please post your answer. It's open text. If you are online and not here and you are the winner, I will make sure you get your duck socks. No one's ready to have a go.
These socks are very handy in winter. They're really warm.
Really selling the socks, but... 3. Thank you, Ali. Higher. Thank you, Pfizer. Higher than that. 5 question mark. Appreciate the question mark.
The question mark inspires confidence.
There's a little bit of a delay. Right. What I would suggest is that everyone in the room take a punt. And if we can't get the correct answer, because, oh, Chelsea, go for gold. Too high.
I was going to write 10, but I was like, is that too much?
We have made it exceptionally hard in that we haven't actually introduced the answer to you when we've kind of spoken about what we call HASS, Humanities, Arts and Social Sciences, HASS, this acronym that you'll soon come to learn, between 15 and 35. So please get your quick answers in. I'll give an extra couple of minutes, and what we might end up doing is I'll get everyone ready, right?
Oh, we can
get yourself ready, and I'll do a go. I'll count down. I'm going to do the closest answer, and you know that it's between 15 and 35. Okay? Everyone who's willing to take a punt, and I know who's not interested in socks, noted. We'll get something ready to go next time. Okay, from my go, between 15 and 35 is going to be your guess. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm sorry.
The collective. I hope
There's
it's
more
not
guesses
23.
than that.
We're each getting one sock.
We are.
Sharon. Oh, 20-something.
Okay, Pfizer, we have a winner. Thank you. Well done, the two that are on the same page with 23, 23. You did exceptionally well, given the fact that, hello, we actually haven't told you that answer very well, but believe it or not, there is 20 separate disciplines. So as you were introducing yourselves today and talking about what you're studying, you would have seen, even just in this city campus, where we're not teaching everything at the moment within our college, we've got quite a spread. I've already heard tourism, archaeology, film and TV, visual arts, right? There's a handful, 20 across the board. So there's many positives to that, and one of them being there's a whole lot of interaction available for you. There's a whole lot of those opportunities to find out and test out those passions, like Sky was saying in the beginning. So there's a topic that you think you're interested in, chances are we're teaching it. And the enrolment course advisors, who we call ECAs, that because we love acronyms at Flinders. So the ECAs, or even in the first instance, the SWA, might be able to suggest some of those for you. Well done, Pfizer.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, our college has the most
Yeah.
disciplines in the whole university. Yeah, so it has most variety of things. But disciplines really, we mean, academic subjects. But we also chunk these in different ways. We organize them in different ways. So we also have programs, and I think we've got like 4, right, programs, teaching programs. So the academic disciplines are kind of chunked or organized. So there's creative and performing arts. There's language, literature, and communication. There's the social sciences. We have sociology and geography and so forth.
History.
And yes, history and archaeology. 4. Yeah, and so the disciplines are within these kind of programs. So it's kind of useful to have a look through the website and get to know what there is there, because that's like your new family, right? So it's like knowing all the relationships of the relatives in the family. Okay, so if we leave this then. So congratulations to the winner. I hope you enjoy your socks.
Put them on right now.
So where's my presentation? So some really practical stuff now. So essentials, right? So first things first. How many of you here like making lists and checklists? I think a lot of academics, I do as well. So every time I start something new, first thing I do is make a list. So what do I have to do first, second, third? Even if people give me, sometimes people give you a checklist. I like to make my own because I then know what I put in it and I can kind of reorganize it and I have more control over it. And I'm just like ticking every time I finish something, and right? So this is an opportunity for you, if you haven't already, some of you may have already started this, to think about what do I have to do before we start our classes, right, before we start the semester. So again, I'll give you some practical kind of the tips here, which you might already have done, but you might have your own things, like you might have questions that you want to find out about, right? So you still need, I think, to make your own lists. Wi-Fi, so I'm assuming that people have Wi-Fi, or you know how to get it, if not already. Yes? How many of you are already using Flinders Wi-Fi? Right, okay. Any questions about that? Okay. Some other things that you do as new students, of course, is kind of getting to know how to enroll and register. And I think that Annie kind of mentioned some stuff about this. The good thing is that you can do practically everything online. Yeah. So have you all registered for your classes? Right, good. Did anybody kind of encounter any problems with that?
Straightforward so far.
Yeah. So some of the classes that you're going to take are core, what we call course, or mandatory. You have to take them if you're doing a particular degree. But you also have other ones that you can choose, right? You have options. And you have electives as well. So we make a kind of a distinction between these options. You get a list of subjects or topics that you can take. And sometimes you're giving the option also of an elective, which means you find your own from across the university. So there are some degrees, like my degree, the one that I coordinate, has that option, that opportunity for you to study outside the discipline. So every year, sometimes you can do one or two options or electives. You can also, of course, talk to people. So there's people that you can see, Flinders Connect, who can help you if you do get stuck with enrolling. And you can also email. So Ask Flinders is a good one, and you get some more information. Does anybody want to add anything about enrolling? Any of you here?
Actually, for the city campus, on level 2, you've got your own support services. You don't need to log into the Bedford Park. You've got your, even though the college is based in Bedford Park, that's where we work from. We do come into the city if you need to make an appointment, we'll come to the city, but you've actually got support services down on level 2 where people can help you with course advice and things like that. If there's anything you ask that they're not quite sure about, they all contact us, and then, like I say, we can always arrange to come to the city to see you. So we've got a split campus. So.
Just want to add on, being a new student and all those kind of things, I mean, this information can be a bit overwhelming and all those kind of things. Just don't feel free, just feel free to ask questions, don't be shy and all those kind of things. If you don't ask questions, you will not know how to go about it, because if you ask questions, we will try to point you out to the respective help that you need, not necessarily but we will know how to actually connect you to whatever services or help that you need and so forth, and advise you accordingly. Yeah.
Right, and of course the other important thing is to get an ID card. So how many of you have got your ID cards? Very good. All right, I think it's only 2 people here that haven't, but you know basically how to do it, right? Any questions about that? Yes.
How long does it take for them to actually work? Because I tried to use mine on one of the sort of like buses on Bedford campus, and then I talked to the bus driver about it because it wasn't in the system, and he was like, "Oh, well, when did you get it?" And I was like, "Oh, well, about a day ago." And he was like, he told me it takes about 3 weeks to actually get into the system, so I was wondering if that would be an issue.
3 weeks? Does anybody
So
know
basically
that?
what you're asking is that you're still using your student card to actually get a student fare? Is that what you?
No, on the Connect.
Did you get
bus.
on the train and get on the bus from the train?
Oh.
Yeah, you should be able to just tap on, tap off.
Yeah.
It should be instant. We'll go down after and sort it out.
Yeah.
However, yesterday another student had the same question, happened the same to him. So he went to Flinders Connect and they check it out and say it should be working next week. However, it doesn't prevent you from using the bus. The bus drivers, they are aware of that, so no worries. If after a week or 2 it's still not working, then go back to Flinders Connect and they will try to sort it out for you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so but your ID card, you're going to be using it quite a bit. You use it for library, for example, right? And any time that you need to show that you are a student. So another distinction, we did discuss earlier about the different ways of studying, right? Online and lectures and seminars and workshops. So you really need to think about your enrollment in 2 steps. First, you enroll in the actual topic that you're going to take for the semester, but then you might also need to register for classes. So some topics are quite big, which means that they have different classes or seminars or sessions, basically, meeting times. And so after you've enrolled in the topic, then you basically also pick a time. Sometimes you get options of different times, different workshop times that you can join. And so that's the second step, which is register for classes. And here you've got a kind of a little procedure on how to do that, if you haven't already. So you've told me you've already enrolled in topics, but have you also registered for your classes, or have you looked to see if there are different classes? That should show in your enrollment, if there's what options you have for the different classes that you can join. Yeah. Some of them are quite small, so you're just basically enrolling is enough because there's only one availability, but others can be quite big. I mean, you can have some of them have got online availability and in-person availability, and even different tutorial times. Right, so that you can pick the one that suits you most. So make sure that you check that you know how your topics are delivered, how they're organized, and that you've actually registered for the one that you can attend. Be careful with things like clashes, timetable clashes, and so forth. Again, exploring and finding out basically how things are done. All of your topics have got an online presence, so even the ones that are offered fully face-to-face, you still have an online presence for your topic, and that's known as FLOW, Flinders Learning Online. That's where resources are kept. That's where your, what we call the Statement of Assessment Method, SAM for short, which shows how the topic is assessed, what the assignments you have to do are. These are all kept there. And you'll find that if you go into Canvas, which is the system that we're using, and if you're enrolled for the topic, it will come up automatically on your Canvas. If you go in and have a look around, you'll see that that's also organized differently. Like the classes themselves, the Canvas side, different sites have got different kind of structure or organization that suits the content. Right, so some people have got, activities and resources and readings, what each topic has on their online site very much kind of responds to the subject that is being taught and the structure of that topic. That's also where you need to find out if there is any textbooks or any other requirements. Your lecturers will be sending you announcements, and they go through Flow. So they post an announcement, and you will also get it by email, but you can always go into the announcements tab and look at all the announcements that were sent. I recommend that you do that regularly, just in case you missed an announcement, because for any important stuff, there will always be an announcement. And that's kept stored in the announcements in the topic Flow site. These are live now, so even though the classes haven't started, the Flow sites become live a week before the classes start. So they would have become live on Monday past, because we're starting next week. Has anybody looked at that at all? Yeah, it's like getting to know your topic, right? So even before you go to class, you get information there about who's teaching. So if it's the topic coordinator, but you might have other teaching staff, so you get to know more about them. You look at the different modules, what you do each week. You look at whether there's kind of set textbooks. So you get an idea, you get a feel for the topic even before you go to class. That is also a place where there's, in many cases, discussions. So in a lot of the topics, you can then discuss with other people taking the topic with your fellow students. Any matters, there's kind of discussion forums and ways you can interact. Money. So that's probably something that everybody is interested in. Scholarships. So there are some scholarships floating around that could be useful to you. So I really recommend that you have a look at that site, because it kind of gives you an overview of the kind of financial assistance that you can get. And as it says, you don't have to be a top performing student. There are different kinds of scholarships. So it's worth seeing that, because it's a kind of an opportunity to get financial assistance. So in some cases, it's also it's probably not here, but you will also get some information about the kinds of working arrangements that you can have as well. So if you have any questions about how do I improve my finances, put that on your checklist, and then start with this site, and then that will take you to various other places as well to get more information. Does anybody want to add anything about scholarships? Any of the professional people here are not to do with scholarships? No. I think a lot of the information that you need is there, and obviously the people that you can contact, the names and contacts, which is important. There's also, like, off the top of my head, you also have like summer scholarships. So you've got different kinds of opportunities that you can check out. So money, very important. Safety, equally important, right? So you need to also keep these things in mind here about safety. Flinders has a zero tolerance for any kind of bullying, harassment, and you have the opportunity to report if you observe any such kind of behavior. So again, make sure that you kind of keep in mind the contacts there, the phone and the email. So even if you think that you are not going to have any problems like that, it's always good to have that part of your kind of list of things, because anything to do with safety is it's not something that you predict or you foresee or you plan, right? So things happen. So it's really part of being prepared. So I think that's the way to see this. Okay, so we go to you now about, we said you make your own checklist. So what are some of the things that you still have to do? Or how do you begin the semester confidently that you've done your preparation? This is what this one is. So I'll go to the Slido. Here is the questionnaire. What do you need to organize? So here are some questions that you can prioritize or see how this matches your own list of things to do.
On study spaces. Is that because we haven't spoken about that yet and you're going, what does that mean? Yep. No worries. When we move through these next few slides pretty quickly, I'm going to jump up and talk about this campus very briefly, about some of the facilities and accessing the facilities. And I'm hopeful that we will wrap up shortly so we've got time for Q&A, and in particular because we've got Ivana who, one, gives tours to students on this campus and is a current senior student, and Ivana will take you for a quick tour, which we think might be valuable, and then you can kind of get to know each other a bit more. How to get to uni. So, this is probably a good point to mention. Obviously, we have deliberately positioned ourselves right by the train station. And here on North Terrace, for those that are new to Adelaide, Adelaide kind of operates in this grid. We have plenty of buses that come up here. At the Flinders campus, we have now a train that runs from here direct to Bedford Park. So you hear us talking about Bedford Park, or if I'm going to throw another acronym at you, BP. Our train on the Flinders line runs direct. The buses can also go straight to our Flinders campus interchange. And that said, public transport is probably one of your best options while you're studying in city campuses. Some of you are nodding that you might have come here that way because we ultimately drop you off. It drops you off right outside here. Another option that some people use as they get to know others is to carpool. So if needing to drive is something for you, you might want to look at carpooling as well. The one more thing I might like to mention here, and tying it into safety, you might be leaving City Campus, Bedford Park, Tonsley is our other campus. You might be arriving quite early, you might be leaving late. We have the option on every single campus to call security. On any one of these phones, the security number is on there. And they can provide you with an escort as well. So if it's a matter of, this is a new city to me and I now need to get down into the train station and I'm feeling a little bit uneasy about that, pick up the phone, you can call security and they will walk you down there and show you the way down. You can do that every single Wednesday night that you're here, for instance, and they will walk you down.
They have the security number in there.
Thank you. There you go. Pro tip.
Yeah. And we've got the bicycle access at the bottom of the building.
Thank you. You are very lucky at this city campus. We have what we call end of trip facilities. and that's a means to kind of park your bike and things like that. So we can inquire about that after.
Yeah, the showers and everything down there, if you need them. If you come on a push bike, you can store your bike there for the day. There's showers, there's hair dryers, there's clothes dryers, there's towels and everything down there.
It is quite wonderful.
Yeah.
ID card, perhaps I might say come and see us afterwards, but we're visiting level 2 where you would pick that up or initiate that process. And enrolment and registration. Anything enrolment and registration you've got a question for, ask Flinders. You hear that often. Ask Flinders is a good place to just contact. Level 2, and also in particular today, our acronyms, ECAS, Enrolment Course Advisor. Please do come and see Annie after this session. So we might move through the next ones kind of quicker, and then we can do some question and answer and go for a tour.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll go back to the presentation. So Sam is going to tell you about that afterwards.
Yeah, so you might just go through
Yeah.
a few of those.
Or you want to do it now? No,
No.
afterwards. So I'll just go quickly over some of the last kind of slides here. Some of you might already have the Flinders University app. Personally, I don't, but it's on my list, my checklist of things to do to get. I hear it's very useful, so we do have an app, right? And so I recommend you check that out. If you ever need any kind of counseling, health type of support, of course we do have quite a lot of that. So in many cases also if you have kind of an ongoing challenge or problem, you can get what we call that access plan, which means that the counseling services will give you a kind of a letter. Perhaps you need more time with assignments, for example, or there's some kind of writing issue that requires you more time if you're doing exams or tests. So all of that is possible, right? You just get a kind of a letter from them and you give that to your topic coordinator, who will keep that in mind in your assessment. But even if you just want to have a chat with people, right, because of something that has come up, this is the contacts for that. So make sure that you have a note of the counseling services. And I believe that they have presence here, right?
Yep.
Yes, yes, and I think Sam is going to talk about that. And also student learning support. So if it's a more academic type of issue, challenge that you have, perhaps language, or not really understanding what is required in an assignment, your first port of call is, of course, to see your topic coordinator for any academic stuff. But sometimes it might be worth also getting some advice from the learning support stuff. So if you find that you have a kind of a recurrent issue, recurrent comment that you get in your assignments that you want to check out with somebody who's experienced in the field, then that's something to do. It's worth pursuing that because it can make a big difference to your performance. So again, make up a note of that. By the way, this information is also in the flow sites of the topics. Right, so you do get that information there as well. So make sure that you go over your flow sites and look at all the links that are there, even before you need them. Right, it's just part of your preparation. As students, libraries are very important for you. All academics, of course, love their books and online resources and journals and so forth. So we have a pretty good library. There is one here as well, and there's also the main one at Bedford Park that you might visit. So have a look at the the site for Flinders Library, and check it out, because that's your main resource really in studying. I think later on today you will be having lunch, right, organized by the Student Association. So that's another very useful resource because that's your association. So it's not to do with the academics or the professionals or whatever, it's a student-based association. So that's another form of networking, right, or networking with peers, getting organized in a peer group. They also have quite a lot of clubs, and they've got some today that you can go and find out. I think it's on level 1, right? That the clubs are advertising what they're doing. So there's a lot of them. I really recommend you join these because a lot of learning happens, serendipity. It happens coincidentally, just by doing something else. So if you're following your interests and your hobbies, you might bump into something that will also help you in your studies. So think of them as interlinked. So some of you, I think you say you're international students, right? So the international student services are also very useful for international students. So make sure that you know that they exist. Sometimes we get some international students that seem to either forget that they exist or don't seem to know or don't know where they are. So if you are an international student, or if you know others, if you bump into or come across international students that you feel need some kind of guidance, tell them about the international student support. So again, you've got some contacts there. But you can always just check out, even if you don't copy these international student support, Flinders, right, and get to their website. So I'm just going to go in quickly with that because we have all the other stuff to do. So other services, so diversity is a very important thing, and Flinders respects diversity. So here are some kind of the services, again, that you can find on the support page, sort of equal opportunity, pride. I think you've got a booklet from Good Vibes, right, that is just out there so that you can check that out more. But there is a lot of stuff, basically, a lot of support and a lot of opportunities to network and find out what other people are doing and become part of a group. And all of that is part of the university experience. You have student representatives. So these are the kind of the main courses that have course representatives. So as I said, I'm in media and communication. I coordinate that degree, and we have 2 course representatives. They're a third-year student and a second-year student. And the course representatives are basically one step before your topic coordinators. If you have a question or issue or challenge or suggestion that you don't want to tell directly to the topic coordinator or the course coordinator, you can always contact the peer student rep. Or you might get the chance to become one yourself. So if you are interested in organizing people, and if you're good with kind of interpersonal relationships and motivating people and getting organized, then that is an opportunity for you to check out. So I hope that, sometime during your study, you do get the chance to experience being a course rep. Yeah, and then the clubs we just said, there's a lot of them. There's more than that. These are just some of them, and you can get more information about them on level 1. You probably already have checked them out. Connect Week is basically next week, which is the first week. And so there's various things happening then. These are some of the things that are happening. So again, it's something to check out. And I know that the first week is always kind of very busy because you're starting your classes. But it's good also to kind of ease your beginning into the semester by including some of these activities because it gives you an opportunity to meet people. So sometimes when you actually are studying, you end up being just with one small group. But at the beginning, during orientation, that's where the chance to kind of expand your networks is an opportunity, something that you can benefit from. These are some key dates. So we start on Monday, as you know, hopefully, and then next week is also the other activities called Connect Week. Make sure that you keep in mind the last day to do things. So last day to enroll is week 2. So you can add or withdraw until the end of week 2. And 23 of August is the census date, which means you can withdraw without without any expense by that date. After that date, you're basically part of that topic.
Can I just say, unfortunately, for international students, you have to study full-time. You have to do 4 topics. But domestic students, you know, if you're struggling and you want to drop from 4 topics to 3 topics, that's still classed as full-time. Part-time is 1 or 2 topics. But unfortunately, for international students, you have to do full-time. You have to do 4 topics because of your visa restrictions.
And you are not allowed to work more than part-time as visa condition, so just make sure to follow those conditions just to be safe with your studies and your visa, okay?
The master's visa, you actually get to work. The hour limit isn't an issue.
Yeah, I would recommend you speak to the international team. They'll be able to talk to you about your visas and what restrictions you have and things like that.
Right, and then the last slide is just a summary of what we consider to be kind of top tips, so that you might, have made your own priorities of what is important for you. But here are some other possibilities and opportunities for kind of connecting with people at Flinders. And then we're now going to look at the campus services, and Sam will take over here.
So I think I've got a separate presentation to show you, and I think I'm going to whip through it very quickly and emphasise just a couple of key points. And overall, the thing that I would want you to get out of this bit is to know that level 2 is your go-to while you're at City Campus. If you have any question under the sun, stop by level 2 and someone will be there to help you. And the reason I'm going to keep it short is I think Ivana will take you for a tour, but I also want to give an opportunity to get a bit of a panel up here so that you can ask some questions. And realistically, no questions are off limits. And if you're uncertain about asking them in front of people, stick behind or come and find us afterwards and ask us there. All right? I'm used to driving from down here.
It's tough, yeah.
All right, so the whirlwind, if I may. Oh, it's got funky little graphics. So Welcome Hub is happening during orientation week. Level 1, which you would have either come up the escalators, you maybe took the lift up, and you might have been greeted by some people. They're going to keep greeting you, I think, pretty much for the whole semester. Every time I've come up, somebody has always said hi to me from Flinders staff or security. Great spot to ask any questions. There is a map there available for you, and these are the team that will be greeting you and pointing you in the right direction. Because your first hurdle might be trying to use that lift, right? Ask these guys. Okay. You may have already seen as well that there is coffee available down on the first floor, and another spot to kind of meet people. So whipping through. Now, moving up to level 2, where our student services are housed. I'm going to call this a one-stop shop because that's how I view it. When you go around with Ivana, you will see that there are some kiosks there. I won't say too much except to say follow the prompts. And that way you can get yourself signed up for a staff member to come out. They will come out and receive you and work through what it is that you're there for a query. So they'll work through getting your ID card. An enrolment course advisor might come out and work through the issues that you're having or the questions that you're having. Skip those. So all the very many things that we have available for you either downstairs on level 2, Flinders University as a whole. I think we've covered most of these, so I'm just going to whip through. Okay, a couple of points here. We call this a bring your own device campus. So you won't find computer labs that you can come in and access if you didn't bring a device to plonk down and get something done before or after class. That said, at this campus you can borrow a laptop up to a few hours, and also we have some lockers available for you as well. Again, ask. Hence why I'm whipping. Level 4, you've heard, houses our library as well as the Student Learning Support Services, SLSS, love a good acronym. Chat to the librarian there. If there's something, it is a very small library for a city campus, and you might find that some textbooks or references that you need are at some of our bigger libraries at Sturt campus or at Bedford Park campus. Have a chat to them because there should be a means for you to do an interlibrary loan or for them to courier it in, just to make your life convenient. And we also have adaptive technology rooms, which some of you might already be familiar with, but they're specific technology for students that have access needs. We also have what we call the Yungarendi Safe Space for Indigenous students. So that is with ID card access only. Again, speak to level 2 if you would like to get access to that, and that is a nice, quiet, safe space for you to go. I do love this. Check out the view. Please do check out all the views, level 1, level 4. And just a quick snapshot of what you might find on other levels, but I might leave that with Ivana. Now, what Ivana might not be able to cover too quickly in a tour around. Now, we probably haven't spoken to you much about this today. Okta. Have you started to see that referenced? So this is our kind of online one-stop app shop of sorts. We have what we call Resource Booker, where you would book rooms and a bunch of other resources. So what you'll note here is that for level 4, you'll need Resource Booker if you want to book a room. But realistically, throughout the other levels, you'll see these dials on the screen, and Ivana might be able to test that out for you. So group, if you get together after class, just head on into a room, you hit the button, and that space is yours to collaborate. That's it from me, but what I would love to do, I want to see how we are for time, is quickly bring up, what's that?
Nearly 12:15.
Oh, 12:15.
There's panel time.
I think it's worth seeing if we've got questions in the room. So Annie, Anna and Ivana, if you could just bring your chair up the front, just up here so online can see you well enough there. And I'm going to hand back over to Sky to facilitate some question and answers. So this is your time. I spoke to a couple of you while we were waiting to get started and mentioned that this is your opportunity, not your only opportunity, but an opportunity to ask anything that you are uncertain about, things that we've said today that make zero sense to you, or things that you just can't quite envisage. you're thinking, I have absolutely no idea how this happens for a student at university because I haven't done this before. I think this is your opportunity to ask. So just a reminder, Ivana, and can you introduce what you're studying and your year level as well?
Yeah, so my name's Ivana. As of second semester, I will be in my third year of a Bachelor of Creative Industries Writing and Publishing. I'm also a course representative, so if anyone here is studying a BCI or BCA, I am your course representative. So hopefully we'll get to know each other a bit better along the year. But yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Annie popped up earlier. Enrolment course advisor, Anna Swa, student success wellbeing advisor.
If you still remember my full name, you can get a free.
Yeah, that's actually there's a real competition.
My full name. Now, I want to give it a try.
Okay, so I'm going to moderate online questions, and if there are any put online, I'm just going to read them out to the group. But over to people in the room. Are there any questions that you have for us at the moment?
Well, why is a question there?
Are there any like recreational facilities, like a gym or anything that the Flinders students have access to? I know there's like Oasis is the wellness center so far, but like as far as like actual facilities to use if you want to go to work.
Yeah, there's a gym in the Bedford Park. You actually, as a student, you actually can join, and I think it's very affordable that you actually have to pay. Yeah, basically. Have you been to the Bedford Park campus?
Only
yeah,
little.
yeah. So it's actually located near the hub. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can check it out, and they're happy to actually take you around and tell you what if they have classes if you're interested in and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, the gym is around, for students, it's around $7.95 per week for students at like the very base level. But yeah, most people go in there. If you are living at Flinders Living, you get a gym membership for free. So that's, yeah, pretty handy.
Yeah, and well, you also mentioned Oasis, that they have like several activities going on there, even mindfulness, yoga sessions, and connect activities like to go and socialize. FUSA has already, Sky mentioned about a lot of clubs, so you can always will find something according to your interest, if it's sports or cultural activities or any other thing that might draw your attention.
They also have free food as well. If you're struggling financially, they have free food for you. And if you're struggling as well, I'd recommend you can speak to the Flinders University Student Association. They can help you.
And here at the city, well, there's a lot of things to do in the city. They were mentioned in the river, and it's a lovely walk as well. To go there, to have a coffee, like if you want just to tune out a little bit from your studies, I just like really recommend you just to ask a friend and, you know, go for a walk. Any other question?
Are there any other little things that don't pertain to like the slideshow that you just want to like, hey, this is available to you? Just little things that you know about the campus?
It's a great question. Ivana?
I have a lot as a current student.
Perfect.
So I'll try to go through all of them. So Flinders Connect, like level 2, extremely helpful, like extremely helpful. Use that for absolutely any question that you have. That's just based on the fact that I never did until my last year, and I wish I had sooner, because they can quite literally help with anything, even things to do with like timetable clashes. If you've got sanctions as well, fees that you need to pay, all of that can be done with Flinders Connect or the support team here. Security is also a really good one. As mentioned, they can walk you to your car if you're at Bedford, walk you to the train station if you're at the city. Your ID card will also, depending on what you're studying, if anyone here is doing film and TV or screen, I know at Bedford Park there are certain classrooms that certain students will use that will have resources that you'll need. So screen students have camera equipment that they need to access. They've got certain computers that can do their video editing on. You will need an ID card, and you need to get access to that. If you're doing an animation class, I had to get access to access the computer lab so that I could do animation. So you need to talk to security to get that on there, and that will expire each year. So each year you need to renew your access. And at Bedford Park, because it's open 24/7, the library, that's also each year. So you can ask them to have 24-hour access to the hub and the library. And then each year you just want to tell them, hey, can I get it again? And they'll be like, yeah, and pop it back on. So that's like the main thing I would say that I kind of ran into as a student. But yeah, there's plenty of others, but I'm sure I'll mention them on the tour as we go along.
I think the opening hours for City Campus is different, isn't it? Do we close at 10 o'clock?
I will have to look that up unless somebody here knows. I'm sorry, I don't know that.
I'm not sure, but I think the access here is 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 to 10 p.m. weeknights, and then I think weekends it closes a little bit earlier.
Yeah, the access is different for the City Campus. Are you all studying out of the City Campus, or are some of you studying at Bedford Park? Bedford Park?
Bit of both.
Bit of both, yeah.
Bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bedford Park, you were asking about other things to do. So there's like ping pong table, so you can go play ping pong. Also in the tavern, they have a pool table, so you can just go with friends, maybe have a burger, play some pool. They also have like some machines and video games there. And there's also a lake. Well, since I'm not Australian, I love to walk around because there's always sometimes I can spot out some koalas. So I know Australians, you're a little bit fed up of watching koalas and kangaroos, but for me, they're still like a thing, you know. So sometimes, like for my lunch break, I love to just go around. So if you're based here, but you want to see a little bit of wildlife, I recommend to go to Bedford Park, definitely.
Some of the shops as well, you can get discount with your student card. You travel, you can get a student concession for your travel. But yeah, some of the shops, you know, if you're a student, you get a concession, get discount and things like that.
Yeah, I will recommend that you download Uni Days. That's an app that basically has every single discount that you are eligible for, and that's for any student that studies at uni. So I've gotten discounts for like Samsung, Apple, even like fashion brands like The Iconic, they'll do discounts all the time. Cotton On does discounts all the time. It's
Apple,
it's like heaps of companies will do discounts for students. Spotify does a discount. It's crazy the amount of money you get to save. So I recommend downloading that because it's just really cool to kind of look through and be like, yay.
It's now on my phone.
Yeah.
And I would just briefly like to mention for you SLSS, Student Learning Support Services. So when I started here, I thought that was the disability service. It's not. Disability service is a different service that can provide you with an access plan. SLSS is available to all students, postgrad, undergrad, commencing, transferring, whatever, because they are really handy. They have like 3 different types of services. So one is in person, so you just have to walk into the library. So they have an SLSS that Havana is going to show you later, where you can find that person. They also have at Bedford Park at the Central Library. Normally they are there between 11 to 2 p.m. during weekdays. And what they're useful for is, for example, you can just get to the library, start working on your things, and they will approach you. And they can ask you if you're having any issues. So if it's about, I cannot understand the marking criteria, maybe you didn't want to ask your topic coordinator, but maybe they can help you out, like try to have a grasp of what that assignment entails, how to structure it, or sometimes, hey, can you read this for me? Does it sound like smart? Does it sound properly? Is it well referenced? And they can just start like giving you a little bit of guidance about that. If you don't have time to come to the library, they also have another service that is 24 hours. Online, Studiosity. I don't know if one of you have ever used Studiosity. So you can also do that. Even you can submit your assignments and you can get feedback within 24 hours. At least that if you think, well, we speak English, but sometimes academic writing not necessarily is something that maybe you are definitely, being very, very good at and you need to improve. So they can give you good feedback on your writings as well. And they can also give you a assignment planner. So sometimes you can just book the details of your assignment there and they can just start telling you like some hints about how to progress, what to do every single day and not start falling behind on your commitments, okay? So I really encourage you to access SLSS. They also have some modules there online that you can do at your own pace for English for academic purposes or referencing or any other study skills, okay?
Perfect.
Does there also happen to be like a small grocery, like convenience store kind of thing on campus? I've seen a lot of like cafes and stuff, but I haven't seen, like my new place is going to be near the Marion Westfield, but that closes at like 5 from what I understand, or 5:30. So is there anything sort of close to campus grocery-wise?
I think that like I know obviously Oasis does the free food and stuff. In terms of groceries, it would be a matter of going to Marion. That's the only thing I can think of is closest. But I haven't been in ages, so I'm not sure which grocery store is there. They're normally open till 9. So our, like Coles, Foodland, Woolworths, Aldi, all those, they are normally open till around 9 p.m, whereas everything else will shut at 5. But yeah, groceries, it's normally a little bit later.
Definitely Woolworths and Aldi are at Westfield.
Yeah.
So these shops, like the chemists and things like that, they might shut at 5:30, but the supermarkets wouldn't. They'd be open longer.
Perfect.
Questions? There hasn't been any questions online. I think we might wrap up now. And for those that are keen, Ivana will take a brief tour around and in particular take you for some food. Because I don't know if you just heard my stomach grumble, but it is. Sorry about that. Thank you very much. Again, level 2 and or come and speak to us in yellow shirts. And we're so thankful that you're here, and we really hope that you have a wonderful experience at Flinders, and we hope that you love the city campus. I'm jealous that I didn't get something like this when I was doing my studies. So welcome, and so lovely to meet you all.